All right, y'all, we've made it to our last segment here. We're going to be talking about self leadership and the trajectory on your career and how this impacts your ability to think as a systems leader, particularly if you have a small team. Now, I want to kind of talk about just a couple of key components of self leadership to help you frame this for you. And let me just say this before I talk about self leadership. I want to acknowledge that many of you have had maybe a windy career that has led you to where you are now. And that career you may feel has been all over the place, possibly scattershot. For me, I want to encourage you and to let you know that those things that you went through, your career, your path, and how you got here has led you to this place where you are leading some heart-centered work, perhaps in a nonprofit space, or you struck out on your own to build your own small business, and you're qualified. I want you to hear that and receive that. You're qualified. The things that you've learned throughout your career and your journey have prepared you and educated you to get to this point. So please do not compare your career to others. Don't compare your path to others, because what you've had to go through and the why behind it justifies the journey and explains how you're wired and why you are unique. In the face of AI technology and all types of things that are constantly evolving at a rapid pace, what's interesting about this season of humanity and this year of humanity in the face of AI is this hyper acknowledgement and awareness that despite all the advancement, what's interesting is that the human experience is still going to be a premium. Even with advances in speed, efficiency, and technology, you are unique. You are a premium. You're the reason why people do business with your organization, with your nonprofit, with your small business. It's you. It's what you've been through. It's your experiences. It's the things you've seen, the things you've done. And the combination of it all makes us such a unique concoction and menu option for people that have not had your flavor of stuff before. But you got to believe that. I can tell you this all day. I can acknowledge this within you. We can have a coaching session, and I'll point out all these unique things about you that makes up you, that's contributing to the movement, the forward movement of the work you're doing. But you got to believe that. You got to buy into that. So let's talk briefly about what self-leadership is. We've talked about this earlier, but this does have a connection point as to how we're going to close this session. Self-leadership is the ability to influence yourself to achieve a goal, and this is defined by Dr. Christopher Manzanek, and they articulate it in three specific categories. There are three areas that self-leadership kind of shows up for everybody. Area number one, the cognitive movement of self, like what's happening in your mind, how you think, how you process, how you're navigating situations and information. It does matter what you think and how your mind is influenced, whether internally or externally. Secondly, self-leadership shows out in your behavior. So whatever the mind thinks, the body does. The body is reacting to the thoughts that you cultivate, whether it's professional or personal, etc. If you believe a thing, your body's going to react to something. When I got into road cycling, one of the things I didn't account for was climbing hills, which is a term that's used to describe riding your bike up a hill, whether it's a short hill or a long hill. And when I started road cycling, I quickly, particularly in an area where I live, I quickly realized, oh, yeah, I didn't think about this. In my mind, when I bought this road bike, it was about flat surfaces and just gliding through and enjoying the ride. But I had to develop the physical consistency and stamina to go up hills. Hills that I would take for granted driving in my car are now hills that's kicking my butt on a two-wheel pedal bike. And what I learned as I got used to climbing hills, short or long ones, is that climbing a hill primarily is a mental thing. It has nothing to do with my body, has nothing to do with my revolutions or my pedaling ability, whether the technique is to stand while climbing, sit while climbing, changing gears. All of that does go into it and does give you leverage points to successfully climb a hill. But it's really about the mind, and your mind telling your body, you got this. I know you're tired. It's because you haven't done this before, or you're learning new things. You're testing and moving muscles you haven't used before. I know you have fatigue, and I know this hill looks crazy and you're going through it, but the mind is telling the body, you got this. The mind is also a partner in this to remind the body, number one, you got this. But number two, you know, you have a bike that has mechanisms built into it to help you successfully climb the hill. Mechanisms such as changing your gear ratio. Do you want to go up or down a particular gear based upon the steepness of the hill? And you need to adjust accordingly. You don't have to be an Ironman here and just stick it out in one gear. Make adjustments. Use the mechanisms and the tools available to you. Also, you don't have to stand to climb a hill because that might not be sustainable. If you're going to stand, you might want to rock the bike, right? Or you can climb the hill and sit on your seat and adjust the gears accordingly. There are variations to this, and also you can take a break. Like, you're not competing in the Tour de France, right? You're not competing on a world class level. It's just you, or maybe you're riding with a couple of people. It's okay to pause. You don't want to quit because you've come too far, but you don't have to be an Ironman when you're not at that stage yet. So the mind is influential in reminding the body, you got this and you can handle it, and reminding the body that there are leverage points and mechanisms to help you successfully do this thing. The mind is such a powerful partner in our self-leadership journey, so you have to allow the mind and the body to coexist in self-leadership. The third component of self-leadership is the reward of the journey, enjoying the journey, enjoying the process. When I was riding my bike, I enjoyed learning that I'm stronger than I thought I was. I enjoyed realizing, oh, this is a mind game. I enjoyed coming across a hill that I was intimidated by, that I'm no longer intimidated by, because I've sculpted out, I've planned out the route. I know the route. There were times where I knew I was going to bike a particular route later in the day, but I was driving that route in my car to get to a destination. And I would, in my mind, visualize, okay, I know I'm pushing a gas pedal to go up this hill, but let me visualize what it might feel like to go up this hill slower, but on my bike. I started to think about the stamina. I started to get my mind ready for what was ahead of me as it related to the cycling journey that I was going to go through. When I would come across new hills, I would be excited because there are things I've learned from the previous climbs that I'm bringing to this, and I'm going to learn something new in this climb. The reward of knowing that I'm stronger because of the journey was great, and it caused me to go back through the cycle again of self-leadership. What am I thinking about in my mind? How's my body reacting? And what's the reward in it? The greatest reward in road cycling is just being outside, two wheels, exploring God's green earth. That is the greatest reward. But all of that ties together in being a successful and an effective self-leader. Whether you have a team of 1 or a team of 100, you're going to have to lead self to accomplish any of the goals that you set forward on your journey. And this is going to be key in you becoming a better leader, a systems leader, learning how to teach yourself how to operate in systems, therefore offering recommendations and thoughts to others to do the same when it's your turn to teach, lead, and guide in that way. Learning how to block your schedule, learning how to be intentional in partnerships and subcontractor relationships, learning how to manage your time, learning how to engage in deep work, learning how to leverage automated systems and embedding them into your business, into your work. Maybe the corporation has not made that investment yet in your nonprofit, but you are making a commitment to automate as much as you can, as much as you're allowed to, so that you can be more efficient, more effective, more results oriented in what you're accomplishing. You're engaging in strategic planning and strategic thought. You're thinking about the future and you're remaining flexible about today. You're embracing every opportunity to speak publicly and to communicate what you believe can help move the work forward. All of this is happening within before you lead others. Learn how to self-lead before you start to focus on leading others, because others, they're going to hear your words, but they're going to look at your actions to see, are you living what you're preaching? Are you living what you're asking of us? Are you living the commitment you're asking us to give? And your ability to do this is critical. As I mentioned, in a previous segment about communication and public speaking, your stories is what draws people in. As a self leader, you will cultivate and naturally develop new stories that will influence not only how you speak in public, but also it influences how you lead. That you can draw on experiences of the past and say, I remember when. And people will find their connection point and they will see you as a credible source, as a reason to believe, as a person who has lived it and I can connect to and I can work with and I can allow to lead me, because not only they're a great person, they're a great leader, but they lived through it and they have a story that can help me overcome my challenges. My friends, I hope you have found this video series helpful. This has been Systems Leadership for Small Teams, helping you develop your leadership skills as you're looking to become the best version of yourself. My name is Dr. William Clark. See you guys next time. Bye, everybody.